Good morning, Predicted Trades family. Hope everybody's doing well. We've got a few seconds before NFP drops, so let's get ready to watch this madness. Actually, I'm sorry, give me just 1 second, folks. Reaction to NFP. Gotta be honest, I was kind of expecting a little bit of a dip down into this cloud to start the day and then take off. We are of a 2-day and a 1-day squeeze down here. And we have our moving averages in the middle. The top of that 2-day and 1-day squeeze sits right up here where our daily 200 is, where our trend line from the highs of last year sits right at around 4,000. So we are coming off the bottom of this daily squeeze. We have been stuck in this range in between our daily moving averages meet recent lows. We getting too giddy to the upside as we are coming back. We do have our trend line from highs of this week to contend with, and you can see our wick stopped right shy of that. So overall, we're still in the same range as this week. We still have our support down near this 38.25, 38.20, and we just went from the bottom to the top of that hourly squeeze. So for upside today, we will likely run into this hourly squeezing through and firing that hourly squeeze up, getting through the daily 8, daily 15, to make a push up to the daily 21 and that 3,900 up at the top of this 4-hour squeeze. That's kind of the scenario for upside, right? We're going to squeeze top these MAs, pull back and hold, start to get through, pull back and hold, and then take off. But if we do not get that upside, then we will run into these daily MAs, this 38.55, this squeeze top. We'll start to come back, maybe lose this 38.43, then reject it, roll on over. From the last few days, we're going to be opening right where we were, pretty much right near where we closed, and going to be dealing with a small gap up. So let's see if at open they want to do a small gap fill and then take off to test these daily MAs. Well, let's see if we're going to just get a pop into these MAs. And this 1 hour know a little better, we can start to play back to see if they set higher lows, bounce and get through, or if we're going to reject and head back down. Let me get us to our normal stuff. There we go. And it looks like, yeah, the NFP numbers were good. Strong jobs market, tops expectations. NFP rose by 223,000 in December. But overall, we are still in this wedge. Or if we're just going to stay in this wedge at all these key levels, sitting right near POC. Let's see if it, they might give us, and they might let it sit until the afternoon where they push higher or lower. So we had our jobs day. So you could see that first 30 minutes be a wedge. into the 10 a.m. data drop. And then we have Fed speakers at 11, 12, and 1. Looking forward to next week. A little light until we get to Thursday with CPI. And it could be, since, that'll be on the 12th, still kind of early in the month, it could be that the market stays in this range until we get to CPI. We've already got FOMC out of the way. Big one is CPI, and then that'll kind of clear the way for the rest of the month. For us to maybe move more directionally and break out of this range. Let's see if today they're going to try and push us to one end of the range and start to break out. It could even CPI, and then we'll see how those numbers go, and we'll tight range. Let's just see how it progresses over the next to the upside or downside. We're still opening right at all those key levels. Probably going to be opening near this 38.43. Let's be ready for a quick pop up to these MAs, a pull back. I tend to say whenever we're opening near a squeeze cloud, then we should be ready for an interaction with that first. Like yesterday, we dropped hard pre-market. Opening near those squeeze bottoms, we fell straight into them, but we never got the turnaround. We just kind of hung out at them all day. Today we're opening near the top of a squeeze. We could run into it, get a little bit of a pullback, allowing us to play some shorts, pick up some longs for the breakout, and if we can't bounce, we're already in the shorts, yada yada. But let's move on. NQ. NQ did set some new lows, pre-market, even lower than last week. But could be a double bottom, and we might start to rally back up today and into next week. It could be that we move from this 4-hour squeeze bottom, this 2-day squeeze bottom, from now up until next Thursday, we rally up to the squeeze top, get NQ back to the daily mean. Just some scenarios that we should keep in mind. But overall today, we've got our pre-market low at that 750. We've got this 890, the top of this 1-hour squeeze. And we've got that psych level 11,000 above. We've got the daily 8 at 950. So let's see if we can hold above that 750, 800. That is our support. If we can hold that, looking for it to fight back up to 10,900, 950, 11,000 to try to get up and test these daily MAs. And if we lose that 750, next big key level is 650, 625 to keep an eye on. Ready. So ready, I had this zone yesterday that I talked about around 1770, 7060. We dumped quickly through that. We popped up and rejected it, popped up and rejected it. Now we're set to potentially open above it. So use that as a great guide. And now the daily 15, daily 8 are sitting right at that zone and crossing each other. So on a pullback, want to see us hold, 1767.5 as support to try to get through this 1-hour squeeze top to fire to the upside, get back to this daily 21 pre-market high from that data drop, and work our way up to 1800. But if we start to lose that 1767.5. Then we want to be targeting 1760, 1750, 44 down at the bottom of the squeeze. YM. Okie doke. YM. Just like on Ready, we had this zone that we've been, we've got a few zones that we've been interacting with. But overall, we had this zone yesterday that we rejected, fell back to the zone below to get picked up. Pin between those two, now about to open above. So ultimately looking to hold this zone, which spans from 33,150 to 33,200. On any pullbacks, looking to hold that and press through this 1 hour squeeze top to get back to the daily 21, daily 50 above, and maybe back to the top of the range from this week at that 33,500. If we start to lose that 200, 150, then we need to target 33,000, 32,900 down at the near this 2-day squeeze bottom. We got the 4 hour squeeze bottom, the 2-day squeeze bottom. So even if we do roll over a little bit this morning, we're really just testing the bottom of this range. We've got a bunch of support here. But overall, things looking good, and YM getting right back up near this wick high. So let's see if YM wants to try to lead today. Can see ES not quite up there. And Q probably still lagging a little. But moving on, Apple. So Apple did a great job holding above this zone I had below as the target if we kept slipping. Basically, we have our support at this 124 to 125-ish. So on any pullbacks, want to see us hold there. And for the upside, want to see Apple try to get back to where we were the last couple of days at the highs, at this 127.3, 128.5. Looks like our 2 hour squeeze has come in right around this zone below and the zone above. And we have our 1 hour squeeze here as well that we're about to open right near the top of. So let's see if we can hold above 125. Start to make our way back up to 127.3, 128.5, 129-ish. If we start to lose 125, then we will likely make it down to this zone below and take out this week's low. AMD. Ultimately did make it back down to this 62.5. Even slipped below it pre-market, now getting back above. So it's all about trying to hold this zone at 62.5 up to 62.75-ish. As long as we can hold here, looking for AMD to try to make it back up to 64, 65 where the daily 8, daily 15 sit. If we roll over, you want to be targeting 62 down to 60. Amazon. Man, what a drop yesterday. After that pre-market push up to the mean, right back down to support and catching a bounce. So for the upside today, looking for Amazon to try to engulf yesterday to get back up to 85, 87 where the daily 21 sits. If we roll over and start to lose 83, 82 and a half, then we want to be targeting 81.3, 81 to the downside. Take a quick look at BA. Since it's been living life above 200, looks like it's going to be pushing for a little bit higher. Come on. Yep. Big key level, 206. And then past that, yeah, my next key levels are further up. Getting near third Keltner at this 206. So let's see if we can get through 206, turn into support, and get up to 210. If we reject, coming back to 203, 200, near yesterday's low. And should whole market roll over, then we might just engulf back to that daily 8 at 95. Probably talking more about next week, but definitely been a very strong name. Got up above moving averages, went sideways while they came up, took off for more. Strong. Google. We got down near 85.5 free market, coming back up. I want to see us hold 86.5 on any dips, with the goal of trying to get up to 88 where the daily 8 sits, back to 89 where our zone is. That daily 21 sitting up a hair above 90, or pretty much at 90 today. If we start to lose that 86, then we want to be targeting 84.7 to the downside. Meta. Meta about to be opening right near the highs. Let's see. First target to the upside, 130, and then up to 133, where that third Keltner sits. But if we reject 130 and start to come back, you want to be targeting 127, 125, down at the bottom of these squeezes. And our key level at 123. Microsoft. Man, still down where she sold off to. She's arriving back at key levels. And at the bottom of a, 2-day squeeze. So let's see if we can hold 22.5, work our way back above 125, or 225.25, sorry. With the goal of getting back up to 230, 232. If we can't get through 225.25 or start to lose it, coming back to 225.5 and maybe down to 220, 218. But Microsoft could be a good catch-up trade. I know that it had a spot of negative news and some downgrades, and some. I thought I saw something about the acquisition with about Activision or something, running into some snags, but. Something to keep an eye on. If the market is going to push today, Microsoft just might have a little breakout catch-up trade. Netflix. Not surprising to see Netflix ripping up to new highs. Going to be opening around those 315s. I think we called out those 315s yesterday, or some folks in the room hit them. If I remember right, I think they went like $1.15 to 350. Now they're about to be opening in the money. Next stops for Netflix, if she just keeps pumping up to 320, 322, 325 at the top of this 2-day squeeze, which spans up to filling the gap. So let's see if on pullbacks we can hold near yesterday's highs around 312-ish and continue that journey on up. If we lose 312, back to 307. NVIDIA. NVIDIA made it down to the bottom of that 4-hour squeeze. Now going to be opening right in the middle. On any pullbacks, basically want to see us hold where we closed. Around 142.5, 143. Basically want to hold a gap fill to keep going. With the goal of getting up to this 147.27. Back up to this 150, kind of the highs from overnight this week. But up at the top of this 4-hour squeeze. Past that, we have all of our daily moving averages, the daily 21, daily 50, daily 15, sitting around 154. If we roll over and start to lose the gap at 142.5, we want to be targeting 140, 138. QQQ. And one thing to keep in mind, we have a very nice push pre-market. We're going to be opening above our MAs, above VWAP, all of that. A pullback to 381, 380 is still just testing VWAP and our MA clouds. Our MA cloud right now is at the bottom of it, 380.35. So, just saying, we have pushed very nice pre-market. We're going to be opening above our MAs and whatnot. A pullback from, we could say, exhaustion back to our MAs and holding. It's still bullish as long as we catch a bounce there and work our way back up to high and take off. If we pull back, start to lose it and reject, then we want to be targeting back down to that 379, 380. You know, we chopped around there for hours yesterday. QQQ. On any pullbacks, want to hold 263, 262.5 to continue this journey up to 265.5 where the daily 8 sits. And if we can, recover yesterday back up to 267. Maybe even 270 at the top of that 4-hour squeeze. If we start to lose that 263, want to be targeting 261, 260. SPX. Looks like we're dealing with a 40-point gap up. And we're going to be opening right near our gap down from yesterday. So, yeah, we're going to be opening right near this gap. So be prepared for maybe a little rejection and pull back near yesterday's highs around 38.30. If we can hold up there, then looking to push through this gap and get back up to the top of this 4-hour squeeze in the daily 21 around 38.70. But if we reject the gap and start to lose 38.30, want to be targeting 38.15, 3800 to come back and tap this gap again. And hopefully you can see why we track those gaps. Every time we got down to it, we got a nice pop up. Down to it, nice pop up. And yesterday we just held at it, and now we're going to be opening with a nice pop up. So let's see if we can get up and fill this gap and get back to the top of this squeeze. If we lose that 38.30, coming back to retest this gap likely. SPY. Be opening near 383. So again, a little pullback, looking for a 381, 381 and a half to try to hold us. To continue this journey back up to 385, 386 where the daily 21 sits and the top of this 4-hour squeeze. If we start to lose that 381 and a half, 380, 379, we want to be targeting them, bringing it back there for a bounce. And then below that, 378, 376. Tesla. Oh man, down to 102. They're just beating this thing up. The whole market gapping up now that we have that data drop. Tesla, it's still a huge gap down. Probably best to leave this one alone, but if it can get back above 104, 105, it could come back to try to fill that gap to 110. But you know, maybe Microsoft, I'm okay saying there's a good potential catch-up trade there if the market pushes today. Tesla, you know, I'm not extremely confident that this is a name they're going to pick up for a catch-up, even if market does push up today. I could foresee them just bringing Tesla back above 105 and still staying below filling the gap. But you never know. We could get a quick pop up, hold that 104, and take off to fill that gap. VIX. Let's get this VIX and we'll be done. There we go. All right, so VIX. On that data drop, you know, we chopped all day yesterday around 22.5. Premarket tapped the daily 50, dumping right down to the other MAs. So, one scenario to keep in mind, if we are just going to stay in range today, maybe even just stay in this 1-hour squeeze and not really take off, VIX could easily just pop up and chop around these daily MAs, staying in this 2-hour squeeze and stuck between, you know, basically around 22 to 22.5. That could be if we really go nowhere today. If we're going to continue to the upside, I want to see VIX stay below the daily 21, near 22. So I want to see it stay below 22, start to get down and take out 21.5. Which would be firing this 2-hour squeeze to the downside to get down to the 4-hour squeeze bottom near 21. So that's for continued upside on this pop on NFP. I want to see VIX depart from these daily moving averages and start working its way back down like it wants to get to 20. But if we are going to maybe reject squeeze tops, roll back, and retest some of the lows, we will likely see VIX pop up above 22, maybe even fight back to 22.5 to kind of fill the gap. But yeah, keep an eye. If we can get below that 21.5 early, then it could be a clear sign to take off to the upside on the market. Overall, that's it for today. Good luck, folks. Let's be patient. It's a Friday. Let's size down. Let's have some fun. And was there anything else I meant to cover? By next week, I will be rolling out some of the things I've been talking about. Namely, the new dashboard that will likely be replacing our app. Going to roll that out next week for everybody to start playing with, testing, see how you like it. And I've been teasing these buy and sell bubbles and doing some testing with our Diamond members. Have gotten some great feedback, made some improvements so that we don't see a ton of buy and sell bubbles. They should just be alerting you when it's a good time to start getting into the call or put that you're watching. So next week, going to start rolling out those things. As far as the buy sell bubbles, I want to put together a video to kind of give everybody some guidance on how to use buy and sell signals. Just to give everybody some guidance. Like, there will be times when you get a buy signal and it starts to pop. I always like to wait for a retest of that signal. We more often than not get a retest. There are just some nuances in dealing with those kinds of signaling indicators. So keep an eye out for next week. Some of those new items rolling out. And also, we have our end of year and New Year's sale going on now. So I highly recommend everybody locking in those lower prices, taking advantage of that sale. It's likely going to end next week. So here's a little reminder for everybody. But thanks for tuning in. We'll see everybody in the chat today. Good luck. Sides down. Have fun. And remember, no beast, no feast.